Sao state in Brazil is making the coronavirus vaccine mandatory for its 46 million inhabitants.
President Rodrigo Duterte has threatened to jail anyone who refuses to be vaccinated against COVID-19.
Mandatory vaccination. Those who refuse to do so could be terminated.
There will be consequences.
The alternative, look for a new job.
More Australian companies are weighing up no jab, no job policies.
These are 4 healthcare workers from different hospitals in North Carolina.
Hands. How many of you have gotten a COVID vaccine? Why not?
We don't know what the long-term side effects are.
When you say that it hasn't been tested, it has been tested though.
But not to the, if you look at the normal year span of how long something is tested, it's usually 12 to 14 years before it comes to humans.
In France, 250,000 people protested against tightening rules against the unvaccinated. It's their body, their choice. COVID-19 has divided the world, most recently between the vaccinated and unvaccinated.
Is rising up against COVID-19 mandatory vaccines, vaccine passports, and vaccines for kids in order to go back to school. I'm Ben Swan in Madrid, Spain, where just hours ago there was a massive protest here. Tens of thousands of people turning out and saying no to those vaccine passports. By the way, it's not just here. We're talking about France, we're talking about Italy, we're talking about Greece, all across the continent. People are standing up and saying no. And yet the mainstream media, they're not going to cover this. We will. This was the scene here in Spain just hours ago as tens of thousands of people turned out to protest mandatory COVID vaccinations, COVID passports, and those who marched were marching against forcing kids to be vaccinated before they go to school. But it wasn't just here in Madrid where these protests were happening. Hundreds of thousands of protesters turned out in cities across Europe, including London, in Dublin, in Paris, in Rome, in Athens. Some of the most powerful demonstrations happened in France, where demonstrators actually had tear gas fired at them by riot police. Police actually pushed back demonstrators in some parts of the city, and there were also scuffles between police and demonstrators. In France, the reason for the protest in part was because of pending legislation in France's parliament that would set up a vaccine passport system within the country, as well as implement a vaccination mandate for all healthcare workers. In Italy, it was much of the same thing, as thousands of Italian demonstrators gathered in Rome, Naples, Verona, and Milan on July 24th. In Verona, thousands chanted "No Green Pass," referring to the Italian government's decision to implement a vaccine passport-like system for people to enter local fairs, stadiums, theaters, or other gathering areas. London also drew massive anti-vaccine demonstrations, with protesters once again waving flags and singing songs. Not only are people standing up, but they're doing so to the tune of hundreds of thousands. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here, this is the new global activist, the new global protest movement. But you better believe this, mainstream media, broadcast media, they're not going to cover it. They're not going to tell you that this is happening. They're terrified of what's happening right now. Hundreds of thousands of people collectively coming together. And
this digital health passport, it's just been announced on the World Health Organization's site that Bill Gates has funded this new digital health passport. Billions into it, because he said from last year, saying the only way we can go back to normal is if everybody gets the prick. So then you can all have my digital certificate. It's all a fucking game, and they're all playing with each other. They're all in it together, but they're playing us. None of this affects them. None of this affects the billionaires, the trillionaires, the millionaires. They're still living life like luxury. Nothing has changed for them. It's us that they are changing the way we live. A small group of people having full control of the world with it all being digital. And when they get rid of cash, imagine that. You've got no cash. You don't get another prick. They shut your bank account down. They shut your money. They stop. You can't go in the supermarket. You can't get fed. Everything is on your digital health passport. Everything. This is the way they want to move it. Get rid of cash. Just imagine that. You haven't got any money to give somebody. So what happens? And the total control over your living, of where you can go. I'm building this invisible prison of all the network and mass around us. They need all that for this technology to work. That's what they've been doing since the first lockdown. You've noticed all the roadworks, all the cabling, all the masts. That is to make this new infrastructure work. It will not work without that. So that's when this will be over, when that's all made as well. They need all that working for face recognition as well. I said this before. The only thing that works at 2 meters is face recognition. And face recognition will be coming into next. Going into a shop, telling you, so you better go out to a shop, it'll scan your face, know what your medical status is, whether you can do certain things. And with everything digital, no cash, you've got no options. This is a very scary world that they are wanting to build for us. Not for us, for our children. And the children are the end game. So guys, I need to say to men now, you need to find your balls. You need to rise up and look after the women and the children. Because I'm seeing a lot of women speaking out more than men. But we need to do this for the women, for the children, for the future. Because they are destroying humanity. They do not care about our health. They just want to control every aspect of our life. So guys, it's time. When this lockdown comes, do you know something? I wish I was wrong in all this. I really wish I was wrong from the beginning, but I've not been. So when this lockdown comes, we need to say no. We need to say no now. Enough is enough. And we need to all stand up and not crumble by the media, because the media is going to play some serious fear coming up. But please understand, the more that people are getting pricked, the more this virus is getting worse. Okay, it's fighting the different strains of the fucking prick, and it's just going to keep getting stronger and stronger. I got warned about this. I got told about this by other doctors and scientists. So we need to stop it all for the sake of our children, for the sake of for the women, for the families, for humanity, for all of us. We need to come together. It's not about the pricked and the unpricked. We're all together. If you've had your 2 pricks, you can still say, I've had enough now. I did my part. I've done everything, wore the mask, got the pricks, and we're still back here. It's going to be 2 years later, and it's going to keep going. This only stops when we say so, guys. So we need to come together, stop being divided, and we all need to say no. Peace out.
The things that was being said is that if all the people come together, no government, they cannot stand against us if the people are united. That's what they were chanting here in Madrid just hours ago. And it is the idea of that needs to continue to spread across the world. It's absolutely correct. The last thing I tell you is that the languages in all these places may change, but the words do not. Libertad here in Spain, or liberté in France, or liberty in English. It doesn't matter how you say it. The reality is that is the mantra of this movement, the new global activist movement for freedom.